Andrew Laundry, or as he goes by on Twitter, Old Man Laundry. I hope I'm saying that correctly. We're going to start off with his article. He wrote an article, and it's on progressive victory. And as you guys know, Beckett has been a super big critic of progressive victory, and I've definitely had my criticisms as well, given that, you know, they're backing Jamal Bowman, and they don't seem to have like any stance on the whole Vosh stuff, which I feel like was pretty, you know? Yes, I am also not being funded by Progressive Victory, just so you guys know. So, you know, if you want to fund an independent streamer. I know I started stream a little bit late today compared to the past few days. And also I was late, just late-wise. So I know we're still waiting for people to get in here, but let's do this, okay? The late start allows more drama to get pent up. That's true, but also then I'm in more competition with other streamers. And who's going to watch Stardust when they can watch Commentary Dude 1 or Commentary Dude 2 or Political Guy 1 or Political Guy 3, you know? So, yeah. So, you know, I'm just a small fish in this pond, but how's it going, guys? I also know that there's like some sort of debate happening soon-ish. I don't know when, but anyways, I am sweating. Is it hot in here? Are you guys hot as well? I'm hot. So, okay, let's just get into it. I know it's like an Israel-Palestine debate, but I don't know if I want to watch it given it's like ArtCom people. I mean, I'm sure it'll be, you know, funny. Do you have any interesting feelings about r/YouTube drama, Lamau? I have never browsed that subreddit. If I go on Reddit, I'm browsing other stuff. I mean, who are you going to vote for? If not the elderly ice cream guy, the convicted felon, or the guy with literal brainworms? I choose the guy with the ice cream. So, dude, it's humid out and I'm livid. I can't wait for winter. Hell yeah. Mostly Minion R34. Okay, Glitterbell, you didn't need to out me like that, okay? Wine says I hate it here. Look, I think Joe Biden with his ice cream is very charming, okay? Imagine going on Reddit unironically. Hi, M60. Hello, Gecko Tryhard, how's it going? Okay, all right. So, here's the thing with Minion Rule 34. You know what? No, remind me later, actually. I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to read a very important, serious article, okay? And then later on, when we get to drama, less serious, okay? Then bring up Minion Rule 34 again, because I have a question for you all, okay? All right, a little bit more informal today. Hope that's okay. I'm wearing my glasses. My hair is natural. I'm wearing a t-shirt. My Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss t-shirt. So, you know, hope it's okay. If it's not, I'm sorry. I know. I'm not like the other Twitch girls. I'm worse. And I don't have an OnlyFans to entice you with. All right. Star, did Beckett show you the Bizarre Universe doodle tones yet? No. Like Kim Kardashian on a Tuesday stream. Okay. So, as you know, we're sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Okay. Not Progressive Victory. Okay. So, if exclamation raid in the chat. Anyways, I'm not like other Twitch girls. I'm worse is a good slogan. I should probably say I'm not like other streamer girls, you know? I'm worse. and I don't have an OnlyFans. I don't even have a free OnlyFans, you know? Some of them have free OnlyFans. I don't even have a free OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans, period, you know? So, I don't have a Fansly. Stream is sponsored by the IRS. Well, they take like a third of my money, so, you know, not really sponsored as much as, you know, high pain. Okay, so, already from the get-go, I like this. Progressive Victory. Progressive. Like, whoa, dude. That's super funny. Oh, Layslip, thank you for subscribing. Happy birthday, we suffer together, true. Okay, expose. Progressive Victory. Progressive Victory PAC's dark secret. So, one thing that I did not realize is that I didn't know that Progressive Victory was a PAC. I thought they were like, I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know, that they're a PAC because like anything with money that throws around money is a PAC, but yeah, I didn't know. So I guess maybe I should have known. I don't know. So this is written by Mr. Laundry, as we know him on Twitter, Old Man Laundry, or, you know, he's got his YouTube channel. So I have spent the last week or so investigating a suddenly controversial political action committee called Progressive Victory, trying to get to the bottom of several serious concerns that have been raised about their organization by several political content creators. But there is one unifying thread to all the concerns that had been expressed: dark money. So my goal was answer one question. Is Progressive Victory PAC a dark money operation? The short answer is absolutely. But in trying to find that answer, I found so much more, and the truth is much darker than I imagined it would be. Let me show you. Oh, okay, it's darker. Part 1, missing pieces. As a political action committee, Progressive Victory PAC is registered with and regulated by the Federal Election Commission, FEC. A quick look at PVPAC's financials make one thing crystal clear. There are a ton of missing pieces, specifically missing financial information. Interesting. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. So what, this is 23 to 24. How are they paying so many people with this is how much, if this is how much they have in the bank, right? Okay. Based on publicly available information, including a stunning interview with Progressive Victory PAC's founder, Sam Rzmala, who he's a very nice guy, by the way. I've spoken to him before. He's a very, very kind guy, but I don't know anything about this. We know that there are dozens of staff and influencers being paid by Progressive Victory who are not shown anywhere on PVPAC's expense reports. Oh, is that a requirement? Similarly, given how many people we know work for Progressive Victory, we know that the reported income on their FEC filings couldn't possibly cover all of these expenses. That is true. That is true. That is one thing I noticed. So we know there are missing pieces, big ones. But what are they and where are they? Part 2, Progressive Victory Action. Having spent well over a decade of my life working in the political field, including for a super PAC in 2020, I had a feeling I knew what was going on, and that hunch was right. Oh, this is true. Andrew has like actual legit real life, real world political experience. I knew there had to be more legal entities at play here. And while I was trying to find out what those entities were, I asked a political influencer working with Progressive Victory who specifically was paying him. He said, what shows up on my bank statement is Progressive Victory Act pay. Turns out ProgVic Act is a perfect abbreviation for Progressive Victory Action, which was incorporated by Progressive Victory's founder in the state of Virginia in 2023. After combing through Progressive Victory Action's corporate document, so Progressive Victory Action is different from PVPAC, I guess. Man, I remember drinking a super PAC in my early 20s. Good lordy. Jeez. Different type of super PAC. Different type of super PAC. So yeah, I guess it seems Progressive Victory Action might be different from PVPAC. After combing through Progressive Victory Action's corporate documents on file with the state of Virginia, I discovered that Progressive Victory Action, PVA, is a dark money 501c4 nonprofit corporation. What does that mean? What is this link? Dark money basics. What is dark money? This is great thing to include here because I was wondering too. What exactly is dark money? Dark money refers to spending meant to influence political outcomes where the source of the money is not disclosed. Here's how dark money makes its way into elections. Politically active nonprofits, such as 501c4s, are generally under no legal obligation to disclose their donors, even if they spend to influence elections. When they choose not to reveal their sources of funding, they are considered dark money groups. Opaque nonprofits and shell companies may give unlimited amounts of money to super PACs. While super PACs are legally required to disclose their donors, some of these groups are effectively dark money outlets when the bulk of their funding cannot be traced back to the original donor. Oh, have a good one, Zaj. See you soon. Is any of that English? Can I get a redneck translation? So basically, let me see if I can... Dark money groups have spent roughly $1 billion mainly. Okay. While super PACs are legally required to disclose their donors, some of these groups are effectively dark money outlets with the bulk of their funding when the bulk of their funding cannot be traced back to the original donor. So basically there's one organization that's like a nonprofit, and then there's one organization that is a PAC, if I'm understanding this correctly. And the nonprofit is not required legally to disclose where their funding comes from. So they can funnel, a bunch of people can give money to this one nonprofit organization, and then that organization can funnel all that money into the super PAC for, whatever spending that they want to do. And the spending is then used to influence people. And by using that nonprofit, the nonprofit acts as kind of like a middleman. So you don't have to report any of those people who give money to that nonprofit, if that makes sense. Is that a good enough translation? So yeah, there's like a little middleman there who's hiding the people who are giving money. People on the left are using the American funding structure now. It is shady. The system is not great. Dark money groups have spent roughly $1 billion, mainly on television and online ads and mailers, to influence elections in the decade since the 2010 Citizens United versus FEC Supreme Court ruling that gave rise to politically active nonprofits. So it's like a dude in a trench coat sliding a briefcase of cash under a bathroom door to someone who uses the money. Kind of. It's like, let's say there's somebody who's got a vested interest in something, okay? And he's in a one stall. He's in stall number 1, okay? Let's say he works for like a oil company or something, okay? And he wants to influence people to, I don't know, give businesses more autonomy, remove restrictions from the government on, businesses, or whatever, okay? So that dude talks to the nonprofit, which is the dude in the trench coat in this install number 2, right? And then install number 3 is the super PAC guy. And so they're just sliding the money over, right? Super PAC guy gets that money. Then he goes out and he gives his money to a bunch of different people. So, yeah. Thank you for the birthday wishes. 501Cs are described a bit below. Okay. 501c4. Okay. Often referred to as social welfare organizations, because we're going to read this one because this is what Progressive Victory Action is. Where does the glory hole come in? Okay, I don't know. You'll have to ask somebody else, okay? Are we anti-super PAC in here? I don't know. I don't have really an opinion yet on that, so thank you, Payne. And this is all happening in an airport bathroom, wink, wink. Is it? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, a 501c4. Often referred to as social welfare organizations, these nonprofits are the most common kind of dark money group. They may engage in political activities as long as these activities do not become their primary purpose. The IRS has never defined what primary means or how a percentage should be calculated, so the current de facto rule is 49.9% of overall expenditures, a limit that some groups have found easy to circumvent. Donations to these groups are not tax deductible. Groups you may know: National Rifle Association, Planned Parenthood, Majority Forward, One Nation. Interesting. Okay, so those are 501c. 501c4. Okay. I think the glory hole is how they celebrate after exchanging money. I don't know that the glory hole is relevant here, guys, but, whatever floats your boat, please use protection, okay? So, thank you, Little Bits, for the birthday wishes. All right. Yeah, so this is interesting. Okay, social welfare organizations. Most common type of dark money group. And I know this sounds kind of like, when you say words like dark money, like it sounds super dramatic, but it just looks like this is like this is the definition of what that means, right? Basically, money that is used for election purposes, for political purposes, that is not disclosed. So, okay. That's an interesting perspective, M60, that you see super PACs as like unions. Very interesting. After combing through Progressive Victory Action's corporate documents on the file with the state of Virginia, I discovered that Progressive Victory Action is a dark money 501c4 nonprofit corporation. 501c69. Glory hole. And here it is. This corporation is organized exclusively for promotion of the social welfare within the meaning of Section 501c4, the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, as now in effect, as may hereafter amended. Okay, bingo. The reason why Progressive Victory PAC's financial disclosures don't add up is because most of Progressive Victory's financial action, including payments to political influencers and Progressive Victory staff, as well as the undisclosed foundations bankrolling Progressive Victory, has gone through PVA, a dark money org, and not PVPAC, a comparatively super transparent political action committee. Political nonprofits. Nonprofit tax-exempt groups organized under Section 501c of the Internal Revenue Code may engage in varying amounts of political activity. Because they are not technically political organizations, they are generally not required to disclose their donors to the public. These groups, like super PACs, cannot coordinate spending with political parties or candidates, and therefore are allowed to raise unlimited sums of money from individuals, organizations, and corporations. And don't be fooled, just because 501c4s are a type of nonprofit does not mean they are the altruistic entities we usually associate with the term. Oh God, Testicle Johnson. I'm not even going to highlight that comment, okay? Part 3, potential false FEC filings. Okay, this is a pretty big deal. The other stuff is like, it's obviously like not great, but it seems like dark money is like something that is pretty part and parcel in a lot of like political action globally, basically. But it's not the greatest thing, you know? So, part 3, potential false FEC filings. The very first form a political action committee like PVPAC must file with the FEC is FEC Form 1. And on the 3rd page of that document, the filing party must disclose any affiliated organizations they may have. PVPAC's FEC Form 1 says they have none. It does not mean it must file with FEC. The filing must disclose any affiliated organizations they may have. Oh, okay. So that seems pretty big, right? PVPAC must file with FEC. On the 3rd page of that document, the filing party must disclose any affiliated organizations they may have. And PVPAC's FEC Form 1 says they have none. And obviously that's probably not correct because, let me open this in a new tab. Obviously not correct because, let me see, because they have progressive victory action, right? That seems like a pretty big thing. This appears to be a lie, a bald-faced and deliberate lie, and one that could bring about serious consequences. Yeah, that's not good. Part 4, proof. Claiming that an organization like PVPAC appears to be lying to the FEC is not one I make lightly, and is not one I would make simply on a hunch. I would only make a claim like that if I had darn near bulletproof receipts, and I do. Damn. Exhibit A, Sam Drismala's own words. In a recent interview, Drismala said something that would be very easy to miss if you don't have extensive campaign experience. But it's an incredible admission. Not quite as damning as Exhibit B, but when the two exhibits are taken together along with the 501c4 revelation, bulletproof is a fair description if you ask me. On June 12, 2024, Drismala was asked by progressive YouTuber Matt Binder how Progressive Victory is funded. Drismala's response was the organization itself, like the core staff and budget that we use to keep the organization going, is funded through private foundations. Now that we know what the missing pieces are, we can translate Drismala's politic speak to plain English. The real organization is Progressive Victory Action, our unreported dark money nonprofit corporation. That's where the private foundations send their money, and that's how we pay our staff and political influencers, but they're certainly connected, and we won't be offering any transparency because we don't have to. Exhibit B, Progressive Victory PAC's non-disclosure agreement. Oh, wait, what was that last point? Well, basically the filing with the FEC is incorrect, right? Now, this here, basically, Drismala is saying that Progressive Victory PAC is funded by private foundations, right? And that is basically a direct admission, right? So, Exhibit B, Progressive Victory PAC's non-disclosure agreement. So they should redo their filing or amend it or whatever. Yeah, I don't know how that works. While my background is in political campaigns, in recent years I have developed a keen interest in the world of open source intelligence techniques. Oh yeah, I think that stuff is so interesting. And after using one of the most basic OSINT techniques of all to work, I found the most ironclad proof that Progressive Victory PAC has an unreported affiliated organization that I could imagine. Oh, okay, Progressive Victory website. Thank you for working with Progressive Victory PAC, which also includes its affiliated organization, Progressive Victory Action. A website snippet preserved by DuckDuckGo, despite now going to a 404 page, Progressive Victory PAC's non-disclosure agreement, which explicitly states in black and white and in direct contradiction of their official FEC filings that PVPAC has an affiliated organization and it is Progressive Victory Action. This is the second stream I've watched today. Okay, that's cool. Part 5, bottom line. I can't say for certain if any of the maneuvering by Drismala and Progressive Victory leadership is legal. I can't say if it's legal because A, I'm not a lawyer, and B, I have always chosen not to involve myself with political groups that conduct themselves in this way. The very real possibility of legal repercussions for Progressive Victory will be up to regulators like the FEC. They will have to decide if Progressive Victory PAC falsified their FEC filings and if they have engaged in illegal coordination with their unreported affiliated 501c4. Legalities aside, readers must understand that working in this way and supporting this kind of group is a choice. I've always chosen not to because it does not align with my ethics and because political groups don't need to operate this way to make a serious political impact. We can all now say, however, Progressive Victory isn't just a dark money group, but it is especially shady one. As if you need an experienced campaign professional to tell you that by now. Never mind what appears to be obvious attempts to mislead the FEC, the public was certainly led to believe that when Progressive Victory is mentioned, they are to assume Progressive Victory PAC is what is being referred to, and they never talked about dark money 501c4 nonprofit corporation with a different name. What people believe is happening versus what is actually happening. This is a pretty good chart. Undisclosed plus undisclosed funders. Go through the PAC and to creators and staff. What's actually happening is undisclosed funders go through action and go to PV staff and PV creators. What is the PV PAC money then for? You know, there would be no question, no multi-hour debates about whether or not Progressive Victory is a dark money group if the public, and I would venture to guess most or all of PV's influencers, knew that PV PAC wasn't the main character and that the main character was a 501c4, the epitome of a dark money organization. For me, putting my feelings about the underlying mission and idea behind Progressive Victory aside, I never have been affiliated with Progressive Victory and am grateful to say that now, and would strongly encourage anyone affiliated with Progressive Victory to take a moment to reflect on whether or not this is the kind of operation you want to be affiliated with, let alone support. It's pretty comprehensive. Okay, I'm gonna link this to you guys. And I think Andrew is going to call in. It's a big deal to people who care about where like funding is coming from in a political sense, you know? So I don't know a whole lot about this, to be honest with you guys. I'm like completely unaware. So, okay, I'm going to give him a call. Let me see. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So yeah, we just got through the article. That's super interesting. I didn't know that there were two separate organizations in this. Like that were involved in this.
Yeah, at least.
Okay. Is this not, I guess my question would be is like, I don't know a whole lot about political funding and political action and PACs really at all, right? It is a lot of funding from undisclosed sources, or is it mostly just like open with most PACs?
So are you referring to in general or with this
in general
PAC specifically? Well, I think one of the things that when I tried to make this article as brief as possible, to make it as accessible as possible, and keeping it really concise, I had to kind of lose a few pieces that I wish I would have been able to explain in a concise way. And one of those was how different the situation is if you're trying to just look up the income and expenses of a PAC, which is regulated by the FEC. You can go on the FEC's website and you can look up every individual donation, every individual expense. You can see when somebody donated, how much, where they work, because that stuff has to be reported because it's assumed that could influence, you know, the politician you're donating to or the PAC or whatever. But if you're talking about a nonprofit, that goes through the IRS. And this is like very in the weeds stuff, but the important thing to understand is if you ever try to find any information through the IRS's website, it is damn near impossible. So for one, they have to disclose very little if it's a nonprofit as compared to if it were a PAC. But it's also just not searchable in the same way that you can go on the FEC's website, type in somebody's name, and see exactly how much they donated. When you can go to a political action committee's profile page like Progressive Victory PAC, and you can very easily search for all of that information. And it gets updated very frequently, whereas in a lot of cases, if it's information going or funding going through a nonprofit and you're trying to get that through the IRS's website, you might have to wait a year or more to actually see those. They're called 990s. They report it once. It's in just a like PDF format, so it's not searchable in any way. It's a completely different dynamic. So not only is it like hidden somewhere else, leading people to believe that it's, Progressive Victory is primarily this PAC, which is comparatively very transparent compared to a nonprofit. But even if you knew where it was, so now we know that most of the financial action is happening through this nonprofit, this 501c4. even if now you know where it is, you can't go to the IRS's website and even find that information in the same way that you can
Mm-hmm.
with the PAC. So in all likelihood, and if you watch the interview that Sam did with Matt Binder, and you listen to the part where he was asked about the funding, he basically said, well, we're not going to disclose it right now because I don't really have permission from these people, as if like he couldn't just ask for permission and just provide that information. But even that aside, what he said after that was, well, we're going to basically wait until after the election to brag about all the good stuff that we did. And I think there's truth to that, but I think there's another layer of truth, which is that he knows that he can have all this financial stuff going on through the nonprofit and wait because he's not required to report this stuff with the same frequency as through the PAC.
Okay. Are there any examples of like 501c4s that are acceptable in what they do, or you think that in general they're just they're not used for good purposes?
I don't even think so. It's a good question. I don't even think that it's fair to say that like all PACs or all super PACs or all nonprofits, political entities, that they're all inherently bad just because of the structure that they are. But in this case, it's more about the way that people appear to be have been misled, appear to have been misled to think that where most of this stuff is going through the PAC. And so when people are thinking like, okay, well, I'm curious, which influencers are getting paid and how much are they getting paid? How much is their staff getting paid? Well, if this were going through the PAC, you'd be able to very easily just go on to the FEC's website and pull up their profile and just find that information in a matter of minutes. But because it's not going through there, you're not going to be able to find that information until and unless the nonprofit files their reporting. And by then, by the date that that would actually come out to the public and be publicly available, nobody's going to care anymore because it's probably going to be well after the election anyway.
I guess like my question for this is like, if you were to summarize to people who don't understand like the significance of this, why they should pay attention to this and why this is kind of like a big deal, what would you say to them?
I would say that I think that broadly speaking, the primary concerns that have been raised by other people before I published my article, that were primarily focused on the dark money aspect of this and whether or not, that is in alignment with the values as stated by the people who are getting paid, but also how this stuff can potentially influence the people who are involved. But then I think on top of that, it's, do we feel comfortable being misled to this degree?
Yeah.
And
I know that it was
do
pretty
we actually value the ability to know who's paying people to influence our political beliefs and our conversations and our opinions, or do we not care about that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think I have a caller that might want to ask some questions, but it's up to you if you
Sure.
wanted to take questions. I can
I don't
invite you
mind.
to the server. 1 second. And yeah, if you just join any voice chat there, I'll drag you into the call-in part. So.
Do you need me to do something, or were you referring to that other person?
Oh, yeah, if you just join a voice chat over there, then I can drag you into the call-in voice call if you want.
Okay, I'll see. Sorry, I really am old when it comes to this stuff, especially when I'm like on the clock.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. I can just add her to the call, actually. Let me see if I can do that.
Sorry, that would probably be easiest.
Yeah, let me do that. Glitterbell, I think. Glitterbell, what is your... Are we friends on Discord? I think we are, right? Oh, yeah, okay. I need to add a friend. Okay, accept my friend request, Glitterbell, and then I'll add you to the call, okay? Okay, you have to accept my friend request, Glitterbell. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can
How's
hear it. Going good.
Hi,
How's it
thank
going?
you for letting me ask some questions. Okay, well, I have heard a whole lot of interest in this lately, and I'm a little perplexed, and it seems like you're the exact right person to talk to, so I'm grateful. Okay, so
Well, I hope I can live up to that.
first off, I want to say thank you for doing this research. I do think that it's helpful that you're clarifying some stuff. I'm a little bit, I'm trying to find the right word for this. I feel like there's a lot of concern trolling happening.
Yeah.
And that also, like, really bothers me. I feel like on the one hand, like, I'm not a huge fan of PACs or dark money. I think that political funding should be transparent. Absolutely. I think that in America, that's not how things work anymore ever since Citizen United happened. Dark money now does influence the system, and it's clear that an enormous amount of dark money is pumping into the right and is resulting in policy changes, legal changes, popular politicians, and things that we actually have to contend with, reshaping our society. So I'm a little bit concerned with people on the left being like, oh no, we can't fund ourselves. We have to turn it down. Well, the right is just pouring gasoline into their engines. So, like, do you think that what's happening right now with progressive victory is meaningfully different than any other political funding that generally happens during the election season? Other than the fact that now it's reaching out to stream poll as opposed to other forms of representation.
In a lot of ways, no, it's
Okay,
not
okay,
different.
okay. So an important thing that I think needs to be part of this conversation is that progressive victory is a generic default PAC that is working to support liberal and left-leaning causes. So there's nothing unique about progressive victory. It's a PAC.
That's why I said it in a lot of ways, yes. But I was going to say,
Yeah.
in some important ways, no. And
But in general,
they're
it's
not
the
a.
same.
In what
Like, we
ways
wouldn't
would-
really, like, this wouldn't surprise us if we found this out about any other political.
Well,
like,
I would.
PAC,
My
would we?
question would be: is like, what in the ways that it's not? What would you say? In what ways is it not like other political like funding? I guess.
Which one?
Yeah, so-
give an example of one that it's different than. What's a good one that it is different than?
Okay, well, hold on. Which question should I answer first? Stars or yours?
Yeah, answer
be the
mine
same, won't
first,
they?
and then glitter bells. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, can you restate yours, Star?
Yeah, so it's just so Glitterbell asked you, like, is this any different from the way that other political organizations or political PACs are funded? And you said, in a lot of ways, no. But what are the ways that it is different, I guess?
And what's an example of one that does it right in the way that it does differently? Is the follow-up.
Well, okay, so there's a lot of. It's hard because there's a lot of complexities to the like really high quality answer to your glitter bell or glitter bombs question. Sorry, I don't have the name up right now.
Glitter bells, your
Um,
pronouns, you're fine. Sorry, I'm coming in hot.
No, it's fine. So in some of the ways that it's not. I mean, for one, it's not a standard pack. It's the thing they probably number one most like uniquely troubling part of this for me is that there's so much that is going on with progressive victory in air quotes that should be getting reported through the PAC, but is being reported or funneled through this 501c4 instead. So paying their staff, for example, paying the influencers, and then just going ahead and saying on their FEC filings that they don't have an affiliated organization. I think one of the reasons why they may have, this is some, I guess, informed speculation, but one of the reasons why they may have chosen to pay their influencers through the 501c4 versus through the PAC is, well, there's a positive read on this that they're protecting, but another.
So there is a positive read. So my concern is that people see a lot of
Let him-
nefarious stuff in all this.
wait,
Okay, all right,
Wait,
keep
let him
on.
finish. Yeah,
What's a positive
sorry.
read?
So one thing that was discussed when I was chatting with a PV creator about this was I said to them I almost feel glad in some ways on like a personal level because I was friends with this creator that I couldn't find how much you were getting paid, because if I could find your information about how much you're getting paid, which I feel like I probably should be able to see if this were being reported correctly from my understanding of things, then I would be able to you'd be able to basically dox every single creator
That seems
who's
like that would be
involved
pretty
with
bad,
this.
wouldn't it? Yeah. That'd be
At the same time, it was the choice of the people who incorporated these entities to incorporate them the way that they have. And if something is legally supposed to be reported through one entity, you can't just say, well, I have concerns that, names and addresses would be publicly available or accessible, so I'm just going to choose to hide it over here.
Okay, so my concern is that I think a lot of people have never looked at a PAC. This is the first time they're looking at a PAC. They're seeing that there are components of the PAC that they don't love, and they're having a tantrum. So is there a different PAC that you think does things well, that has a similar relationship with its objectives, that doesn't do these things? You can say, hey, here's an example.
I mean, I think a very easy example was the super PAC that I worked for in 2020. I was the national political director for a super PAC that actually did very similar stuff that PV is doing. It was my suggestion to the group, and what made our primary and made. Say that again.
Where'd it go? What happened to it?
The election was over. So.
Oh, okay. So they just closed.
So
there's no. Okay. So it's just seasonal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it was my suggestion that we had all of these people. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it was an Andrew Yang supporting super PAC before I realized how big of a he was, and I've written all about that part of it. So that aside,
so Andrew Yang super PAC that you coordinated Andrew Yang super PAC, and you think it was an example of how this should be done responsibly.
Yep. And what I was going to say is it was very similar to Progressive Victory in that if you remember anything about 2020 and the Yang Gang, it was like this super
they were a
energetic
small insurgent group that was trying to pull energy away from the Biden campaign. I remember.
So, well, anyway, let me just finish my point without getting derailed, please. So what we did at my suggestion was I was told they had all this money. They wanted to know how they should, because there was this one significant donor who wanted to support the campaign in the most effective way possible. And my suggestion was, you've got all of these people who are super energetic, but stuck online. Let's train them. We'll train them virtually. I did all of that training. I created all the materials, and then we coordinated a massive activation where we paid for travel and lodging of bringing people to the Iowa caucuses to
just make sure I'm up to it. So Andrew Yang, super PAC campaign manager, has concerns about the way Progressive Victory's PAC is being run. That's the headline here, right?
Well, let's let Andrew finish what he's saying here, because I think
so you guys so we were talking about lodging.
We could just say you can describe it exactly how
it would be an accurate statement, right? It would be an accurate statement.
To say what?
That Andrew Yang's former PAC manager is expressing vocal concerns about how the Progressive Victory PAC is being managed. That's an accurate factual statement.
I'd say it could be somewhat factual, partial statement, I guess.
What's not factual about that? Andrew Yang's PAC manager has public concerns about the Progressive. What's not accurate about this?
Wait, Glitterbell. I think that the main thing is here is that's implying that Andrew Laundrie is still supporting Andrew Yang, which he's not, right?
The implication is that he may have some bias. So I think that the Progressive Victory thing is an attack. And I think that it seems like he's trying to create stigma around Progressive Victory. And my concern is he's trying to amplify it. Yeah, I mean, I think there is concern trolling happening.
So I agree with you that
okay, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that we clarified that instead of I agreed to chat with Star because I figured she was gonna have a productive, good faith conversation about this as opposed.
Wait.
No, don't interrupt me. You've interrupted me a zillion times. Please shut up for 2 seconds.
Sure.
You literally just said that I was doing this out of. Shut up.
No,
you said I was doing this out of concern trolling, which is 100% not what I was doing.
No, I said a lot of people are. I said you're amplifying it.
But
I think that your outline of the money layout was good. I think you did a better job of laying out the trail of the money that has been established than anybody else I have seen.
Glitterbell, you gotta let people finish. So what I would say is Look, there are some people who are concerned trolling, but I don't think Andrew.
And I would
don't
agree
think
with
Old Man Laundry is,
Okay.
is one of these, right? So,
I
like,
think that
you
I agree
know,
with that. I'm trying to distinguish between the two. I think people
Yeah.
are
So, you
thinking
know,
I'm overly
Beckett-
critical than I am, but I'm trying to find distinction.
yeah,
So
you know
apologies.
that Beckett is somebody who was accused of concerned trolling, and he's somebody who's been super vocal about it. Kilo is somebody who was accused of concerned trolling. He's somebody who's been super, what's it called, critical of Progressive Victory. And those are two people I would say that are definitely not concerned trolling. There are people who are just doing it to be like, but I don't think that this is the case, right? And if you want
And
to
I
say,
also
like,
have spoken. I've spoken
sorry.
very favorably of the underlying mission of, and just like the underlying idea of Progressive Victory. And what I've said publicly is my issue is primarily with how they've chosen to execute it. And
To
I
me,
also,
that sounds like love the sin or hate the sin, which is why I'm so like triggered. Is that it sounds like this is one of those situations where people are like, I'm in this in principle, but I'm gonna attack everything about the only time it's ever being tried to tempted to be executed.
But I
Which is like, all right.
literally executed it on a massive scale myself, and I did it in a way that was
But you
the
didn't.
transparent
You
right way to do
absolutely
it.
didn't. You didn't reach out to this community on a massive scale. You
What?
reached out to Andrew Yang's crypto
Well,
bros.
you don't
Okay,
we don't
so
know that,
this
right?
is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
So, we don't know that, right? Because I think what Laundry was saying is that he did coordinate with like influencers and stuff, right?
I mean, I guess you could call them like micro influence. It was a very weird dynamic, and I'd be happy to have a full blown conversation about that whole like campaign and what I saw. I've written all about how, like, in retrospect, I sure wish I hadn't been a part of it in a lot of ways. So it's not like I am like have positive feelings about them.
Doesn't it seem like this might be an opportunity to use that judgment before an election rather than after one?
Like,
To me, the threat that's potentially represented by what people have framed as Progressive Victory seems like marginal. It seems like a couple of people are getting pocket change to not attack each other in the lead up to an election, and it's a little shady. I don't love it, but I don't think it's a huge dramatic thing. And it feels
Hold on, restate
at a time
restate the first sentence there.
Okay, well, my take, which maybe it's a bad take, maybe it's a good take, but in general, some people are putting money into the left to keep left-wing creators from trying to devour one another in the lead up to an election and to get a little bit of turnout. That doesn't seem particularly nefarious, and the types of things that I'm hearing come out of the creators associated with Progressive Victory aren't like the 2025 America agenda for the, like, there isn't a dark, nefarious plot that I'm seeing that's been associated with any of this. So, like, is it shady?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
I don't really like it.
But
I don't
if you
see
read,
the
if
concern.
you were listening to if you're listening to Star's reading of my article, I mean, you're free to put whatever words in my mouth you want to, or thoughts in my head that aren't there. But the actual words I chose to put in writing, I very deliberately did not personalize this in any fashion. I took great precaution to make sure that one critique I would, and I've shared with Kilo, is I think that there were parts of his criticisms in his video where I think that it got distracted by some weird little personal shots that ended up kind of derailing a lot of what could have been productive conversations. But I was very careful to make sure that this conversation and my contribution to it was focused just on the facts of the matter of the organization itself, not of the individual creators.
Okay, so
I
looking
don't
at the
really.
screen right now that we have, right? This Progressive Victory, Progressive Fuckery screen, right? To me, it seems like your intent from creating this image that we're now looking at is to try to destroy the public image of this organization. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So, do you believe that Progressive Victory should continue to help amplify liberal and leftist messages in the months leading up to the presidential election, or do you think it should cease all operations?
If it were up to me, there would be a organization that would essentially have to replace it, that does what they want to do, but in a not so way.
Okay, so
it's not like I'm saying that, like, I think we should disband it because the mission. I don't really care if Joe
I didn't
Biden
ask
gets
that
elected.
question. This is the frustration. So my frustration with people on the far left is
I'm not on the far
everything
left
you
either.
said but a unicorn plus a unicorn argument. Like, I agree. Everything that exists but better would be better. But that's not anywhere close to the reality we're in. The reality we're in is we can back this organization, we can reform this organization, or we can try to kill this organization. Those are the 3 things that are going to happen between now and November.
I think they should. I think you asked me what my personal view would be, but I think
I gave you 2 options and you tried to
God.
make up a third. My 2 options were, should we kill it or should we allow it to persist? And you said, in my world, I would do neither. I would replace it by a different. I'm saying, in the real world, people don't have that as an option meaningfully.
How much campaign experience do you have, by the way? Because I feel like I'm being
for the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Biden campaign. So
you did what for them?
I have campaigned for both of them.
What does that mean specifically?
I don't feel like this dick measuring turn is going to matter. Let's get
you were literally
focus.
trying to just do that to me. You were talking to me as if I'm like not living in the real world, when I guarantee I haven't little broed you or anybody, but I certainly could. So like
now and November, and I don't think you think that.
Because it's not productive, and it actually wouldn't even measure.
So you think there's going to be? So I don't think.
Wait. Let me pause. Let me pause. Pause for a second. Okay.
We got your mama in, Star.
Sorry, I know you weren't expecting this. So I guess
I was expecting a conversation.
Sorry. So what I would ask is, I would ask in my head when I hear like, oh, replace it with a different organization, that sounds similar to reform to me. That's just basically it's just another way of reforming, right?
I think,
and so I don't see a problem with
I think reform,
it's not a magical third option, because it is like it is.
Well, it is a magical. The actual option is reform. Get rid of it and pretend that like this is the one that's here. We can fix this one and we can make this better in the lead up to the election.
But then you're admitting that you presented two options when really there are more in the situation.
So yeah, there are more, but I presented him an option. That's true. We could move, but
you presented
isn't
things
an
that
option.
are not like adequate, I guess, in this situation.
So I would say work with this org or get rid of it, because to me, progressive does not say reform this org. It says kill this org. And to me, it operates in a space that imagines this org would be replaced in time for the election. And I do not think that that operates in the actual timeline. I think that that's operating in a fantasy space. And that's why I'm frustrated, is that I feel like...
Well, it would have been great if you had asked me, would I be satisfied if they reformed and they became transparent, and if they owned up to some of the things that they've done, I would say, yeah, I would be.
Do you think anybody would get that from the article that you wrote? Do you think you're sending that message out, or do you think you're sending the kill it message out? Because I get the kill it message from this title.
I didn't get a kill message from this. Like, I do have to disagree on that. I didn't get a kill message on this one.
I'm saying the title. Progressive is the title.
Well, progressive kind of just sounds.
It
like
also
a meme
says
to
progressive
me,
victory.
You know?
Okay, it says progressive victory.
The idea was, is it progressive victory or is it
progressive
fuckery?
Secret. Well,
yeah.
I mean, so my media literacy says progressive victory PAC's dark secret implies that it is actually dark. Maybe my media literacy.
Well, fine. You're also, you were saying before, hey, every organization has a certain amount of dark going on, but now you're also complaining that
I'm saying that Andrew Yang's PAC manager is attacking the Progressive Victory PAC with progressive as the title of your article. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you seem pretty biased. The research you did was good research. Your presentation of it seems to have an unnecessary bias. I don't like it because I think it's feeding into concern trolling, even though I think the underlying concern may be valid. I feel like this is pretty straightforward.
Well, I think, okay, if I were going to give my read on this, I think that it's obvious, like, it's a little bit of clickbait, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I do that in my videos, in my YouTube videos all the time, you know, and people do that with articles all the time, right? You want to drive traffic to it. So saying like, you know, expose Progressive Victory PAC's dark secret. It's not, when you actually get to reading the article, it's definitely not like we need to axe this organization. It's, hey, they made a mistake, or either they made a mistake or they did this intentionally, and that's, you know, regardless, it's wrong. They need to fix this. Even with, you know, the part where he's being interviewed by Matt Binder, and even that part is like, yeah, why is this guy acknowledging this, but then not putting it in the actual FEC filing, right? I think that probably, to me, is what really stuck out.
I think some of the research in this is good. I'll continue to affirm that. Like, I'm not knocking that, and I don't think that people shouldn't look at it. So if I'm giving that,
I'm talking about bias.
If you wanted, if you wanted to know what how my presentation would look if I were trying to do a kill shot sort of a piece, you can look at what I wrote about Andrew Yang's shady nonprofit and his campaign for mayor, and what I wrote about and the videos I put out about soft giving, which
I'll take that as a hit, and I'll apologize. That sounds fair. It sounds like I may have misjudged you. All right, that's fair. I guess I would be I would be really I would be impressed with your work and I would be supportive of it if it felt like it was pushing towards a how we fix this to make it work.
But that's not to me.
That's
That
not
would
what?
be. I think that would be.
Oh, but that's why I'm
arrogant for me
so
to
to
do.
me the fact that you're not taking on that responsibility and instead you're just shooting spitballs is the thing I am objecting to, right? It's that yes, we both recognize there is something here we don't love. It seems to me that your framing of it is it's not my responsibility to try to make this work because I don't care
could have
about
just
it.
asked me like, hey, maybe would you be down to like do a follow-up article about like what could be the next steps to like be a replacement or but
That
like I
sounds
would
like
have
but I don't believe that there should be a replacement because I don't believe it is reasonable to try to believe there could be a replacement by
reform,
November.
whatever
I
the
think that
fuck you
there
want
should
to
be a
say.
reformation, right?
That's
I want
fine.
your
Like,
heads to be
I
in
literally
the
said
place
earlier that I'd be
of
totally okay
changing
with
it.
reformation.
Great.
And I even said at the
That's why we're
very
having this
conclusion
That
of
was
the
the
article.
solution, yeah. Oh, at the very
Yeah,
conclusion.
I
Let me pull it up here. For me, putting my feelings about the underlying mission and idea behind Progressive Victory aside, I never have been affiliated with Progressive Victory, and I'm grateful to say that now. And I would strongly encourage anyone affiliated with Progressive Victory to take a moment to reflect on whether or not this is the kind of operation you want to be affiliated with.
Yeah, I'm proud to not be part of this. Is far from saying this should be reformed and improved upon. Don't pretend that I'm proud to.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Did I miss something?
Like, come on.
Oh, sorry.
This is a really interesting way to have a productive conversation.
Sorry.
When the person being accused can't even like get a word in edgewise. So sorry, can you restate that so then I can clarify what apparently is being construed in a certain way?
Okay, sure. For me, putting aside my feelings about the underlying mission and idea behind Progressive Victory aside, I have never been affiliated with Progressive Victory, and I'm grateful to say that now, and I would strongly encourage anyone affiliated with Progressive Victory to take a moment to reflect on whether or not this is the kind of operation you want to be affiliated with, let alone support.
There you go. Okay, so...
So those are already...
Pump the brakes, Litterbell. Let Andrew respond. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my God, this is really enjoyable. So you could interpret that however you want. So when I say this is not the kind of organization I would want to be affiliated with, that is true, and I am glad that I was not affiliated with them. But if I'm saying, do you want to be affiliated with this kind of operation? Somebody could conclude, if they're, let's say you're one of the political influencers they're working with, your conclusion could be, you know what? I don't want to be affiliated with this organization as it is now. So I don't want to be affiliated unless they were to change. And as I've already said, I think like several times.
Can I respond to your response to your own writing?
Oh my God. I feel like no matter what I say, you're going to. So why don't you just tell me what I was really thinking?
Okay. Well, you tell us what you're really thinking in the paragraph. You say, for me,
I'm not
putting my wait. Oh, you're gonna respond to me responding to you. For me, it is tiring. This is why I'm frustrated with this whole conversation in the scene, not just
this isn't a conversation.
For me, putting my feelings about the underlying mission and the idea behind Progressive Victory aside, I interpret that portion of the sentence to mean I personally agree with the underlying idea and mission of Progressive Victory. Then you say, I have never been affiliated with Progressive Victory, and I am grateful to say that now. I take that to mean that you take pride in your prior judgment to not associate yourself with Progressive Victory. Then, after having said that, you say, I would strongly encourage anyone affiliated with Progressive Victory to take... Oh, I can't see because it's covered. Star, can you scroll down just a little bit? To take a moment and reflect on whether this kind of operation you want to be a part of. So to me, that's encouraging the listener to make the same judgment that you made in the first half of the sentence, where you say, I am grateful to say that now. I think you're encouraging the listener to follow your lead, and you're implying that they should part ways with Progressive Victory, and I don't think that any part of this sentence implies that they should stay with it and fix it. So I think you're coping and trying to reinterpret your own writing.
You got me.
Though, right?
I did.
Parting with it. Wait a minute. Parting with it isn't axing it, right? Like
it's not reforming it. It's withholding support. It's an attempt to kill it prior to the election.
It's not necessarily an attempt to kill it. It's an attempt to withhold support if this is the way the operations are going.
This does not say this thing should be improved.
There's no calls for execution in this either. There's no calls.
Well, there is a call to leave.
Wait a minute.
You can't participate.
You're reading. You are choosing to read a lot of tea leaves, and that's your choice.
There's no.
have never been affiliated.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
There's no there. If you're gonna say that, oh, there's no calls for reformation in this. There's also no call for them to axe the organization in this entire article.
There's a call for people to stop working with the organization.
Yes,
No,
and
there's
that could
not.
mean
Sentence.
anything. That
It's
could
a
mean
strong.
anything.
Okay, you can dance away from your implication like a coward, but it's really obvious what you meant, homie. I'm proud to have never been a part of it, and you should think about whether you want to be a part of it. Doesn't mean maybe you should stay and change it. Come on.
Well, I mean, who is it going to be up to change? Not people who are being paid by it, right?
Well, he doesn't want it to be changed. The implication of this article is not to change it.
Okay, sorry. It's not going to be up to the people who are being paid by it to change it. It's going to be up to the people who run the organization. They will be more influenced by influencers choosing to not affiliate, to reform the way that they operate the organization. Wait, let me finish, okay? The way they're going to be more motivated by influencers choosing not to affiliate because they don't like the way that this is operated than they are by anything else. An influencer being paid by Progressive Victory probably doesn't have much say in how this operation goes. So,
all right, but I mean, I still that may or may not be true. The end of this article does not call for the reformation of this organization.
It doesn't call for the execution either.
Nor does it call for
it. Urges people to leave it and to stop participating with it. That is the thing that it encourages people to do, which I do not read. Typically, when I hear somebody say leave this thing, I don't think that they mean fix it and make it better. Maybe other people
because it's not. They don't have that influence over the organization.
I don't even think that I said explicitly to leave it. But
you didn't say it explicitly. You said it covertly, like a little coward. I already said that. You said it under your breath. It's not explicit.
Yeah,
you did not explicitly say it.
I'll make sure next time I'll send it to you so that you can write it for me because you know my.
Well, you're just backing away from your position. You implied that people shouldn't work with Progressive Victory, and now you're saying that you didn't say it explicitly.
No, there's a difference. I'm not accepting that your characterization of what my position is correct.
I understand you're not accepting it, but the sentence is on screen. Okay. You clearly say, I'm proud to have not done it, and you should think whether or not you want to do it. Anybody,
because they chose to do that.
Where's the kill this organization in this? You know, where is it? Where's the sentence that says, hey,
anybody who says, I'm proud to have not done this, and you should think about whether you want to do it, understands that to mean don't do it, right?
That's not kill the organization, though. That's evaluate whether
all the creators who work with it shouldn't work with it. Okay, so
he's saying evaluate whether the way this operates jives with you, and if it doesn't jive with you, then maybe you don't affiliate yourself.
He's trying to shame them into choking it out. That's how I read it. Maybe I'm illiterate, but that's how I read it. Is he's trying to shame anybody who aligns with it because the sentence.
Buddy, it's okay for you to interpret it how you want, but the problem is when shut up for 2 seconds. But the problem comes in when you go from this is my interpretation to this is my interpretation, and I know that my interpretation is correct, even though you are saying it is not.
Yeah, I think that
you can interpret it however you want. But I'm telling you,
this is so a really good point made by M60 in the chat that says this is the same argument that Reservoir made about Stardust when he said her Frogan video was a call to deplatform her. Yeah, and I don't think I ever explicitly call for deplatforming. I'm pretty anti-deplatforming. But like when it comes to stuff like this, I feel like if you're going to make an implication of like what this article is calling to action, like I think that there needs to be a little bit more like solid. It's not a solid, but it's not a solid execute this.
The action is so the action that is called for at the end is assumes that somebody is working with Progressive Victory, and it asks them to consider if they should continue doing it because it implies they should stop. How is that unclear?
But them not affiliating with it isn't killing the organization.
What?
Them not affiliating with it isn't killing the organization. The organization still operates
it seems to me that the directive.
Influencer.
Okay, but
there's no directive.
The result,
what don't you understand about that?
If everybody took his directive sincerely,
there's no directive except to consider: do you want to be affiliated with an organization that functions in this way?
In a way that your crowd could never have been affiliated with.
Jesus Christ! That assumes that organizations can change, and the election. There is a primary in New York that is coming up in 2 days, but the 2024 ultimate election. It's not right around the corner. There is still time for them to reform their organization so that the element could be eliminated before this transitions to being primarily a Biden-focused endeavor.
And you would support that, and you would support the organization if it does that.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Well,
Why
Okay.
didn't you just ask me that in the first place, ding dong?
because
You
my
just wanted to
criticism
choose
is
instead to
about
just
no,
assume
my
that you knew
criticism is
exactly what
about
every one of my thoughts were instead of just asking me like a normal person would. Jesus Christ.
all
I
right,
think
all right. I mean,
I'm gonna call it. Okay, this is an interesting conversation.
I appreciate you taking the time to entertain my curiosities. Thank you, Old Man Laundry.
Laundry, but go ahead.
Laundry. Sorry, that's not intentional. I'm trying to. And thank you, Star. I appreciate you letting me
Thank you.
chat with this ding dong. Back at you, buddy. All right, thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Okay, thank you. I know that was not what you expected, but I
It's
think
okay.
I think you defended it well.
The content, baby.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to leave with the chat? Oh, your YouTube channel, actually. We should link your YouTube channel in the chat.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
send
you
it to me?
can. I get. It's funny. So it's kind of related to what that whole thing that we just experienced. That there's always a really tricky balance to figure out. Do you get hyper super duper in the weeds and like qualify every single statement to make sure that nobody misinterprets anything, that they can see all of your work and how you got there? I literally had a almost completely edited 35-minute video about
Wow.
this that showed everything, that qualified all of these, everything, so that I could avoid what we just listened to. But then when you do stuff like that, nobody watches it, and then they complain, oh, this is way too long, this is way too much information, you didn't need to get in the weeds, why don't you just give us the facts? And if you want to say, like, from your personal opinion, is this, but don't make it too long, because blah blah blah. And it's like, you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. But because it was brief, it did suck that I wasn't able to show people how this is supposed how this is supposed to go. There's so much stuff I wish I could have been able to include, but yeah, it just kind of.
I think it's a good article. I think if you wanted to, you could certainly like do like a follow-up article on like, hey, this is I made these statements, and this is, I said that this isn't being run correctly. Like, this is how I think it should be run. Or like, here's some examples of the way it should be run. Or, why, one, like maybe an article that has 2 points to it, right? Like, part 1 is like, okay, why should you care about this? And part 2 is like, okay, this is how it's done right, or something like that, right? But I think this article on its own is pretty good article. I learned things from it.
That.
So, yeah. And also, guys, Old Man Laundry is the owner and runner. Laundry. Sorry, my apologies.
It's okay. I love you, Star.
I love you too. Is the owner and runner of HamasPiker.com. Okay, you guys should go check that out. So
now, if you want to see what how I sound when I'm trying to like offer the kill shot, go to HamasPiker.com, and then you will understand the very significant difference between my presentations. If I want to, or just go to my personal website and look at the dossier that I put together about Andrew Yang and all the things that I found about him. I mean, like,
Glitterbell's in the chat saying, "You are one of my heroes. I just shat my pants." yeah. This is it's a pretty good website. He puts all this stuff here. I thought it was super funny that immediately, as soon as people started calling Hassan Hamas Piker, that you got the website and just started going,
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then what's your personal website? Is it
it's just andrewlaundry.com.
Okay. Cool. Well, I dropped your link tree and everything. Guys, go check out Old Man Laundry, okay?
Hey, good job.
Yeah.
And I know this was like kind of a little difficult from, time to time, but honestly, if anybody, including Glitterbell, wants to talk with me individually, like, just follow me on Twitter. You can chat with me in DMs or reply to the article we just talked about, which is pinned on my Twitter profile too. So I'm totally happy to have further conversations with anybody who's interested.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Thank you for sharing your article with us.
You too. I'll stick around in chat for probably the rest of the stream.
Okay.
Anyway,
great.
so thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay. So that was fun. That was fun. Let's see. So next up, I was gonna, yeah, the Hamas Piker website is hilarious to me still. I still think it's like one of the funniest things ever.